I've officially had my OURA ring for over 6 months now, using it every day, of course, and here are my updated thoughts. First up, physically. How is it physically holding up? Honestly, it is holding up well. I mentioned in my 1 month update video that I did chip it a little. It had a pretty nasty fall, which was totally my fault. I mean, it's not like crystal clear or as clear as it came. I haven't cleaned it in a while, but it still looks good. It's like shiny. It doesn't look super dirty or grungy or anything. The exterior is holding up well. I am super used to how it feels. I got a lot of people when I first posted about getting it saying like, oh, that looks so awkward, like your index finger on I wear it on my left hand, my non-dominant. They're like, that's like seems so weird, whatever. I'm so used to it. Like, I don't notice it at all. It is thick. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, it's a very thin ring. It is thick. It's a little bit bulky, but I was willing to get used to it, and I did, and now I just don't even second guess it. I do, however, have an indent on my finger from it. I felt like I was kind of in between sizes a little bit. Like, I got a 7 for my index finger on my left hand, and it was a little tight at first. Like, you could tell it was a little tight, but if I went up to the 8, it would just fall off. So I went with the 7. I also thought if it was too loose, it may not get an accurate reading and give me as precise analytics. I'm not sure if that's how that works. It's just what I thought in my head. So I did go with the size down, and I would say I have a pretty noticeable indent. Oh, you can really tell there. But it doesn't hurt or anything. I don't know if that's concerning. I mean, it's not concerning to me, to be honest, but you can definitely tell I got a little bit of an indent there. But it really slides on and off so easy. I'm like very content temperature right now. Like, I'm not too hot where my fingers are swollen, but I'm also not cold where they're like smaller, you know? But it's good quality in terms of like, it doesn't feel like a plasticky ring. Like, it feels good and sturdy, which I really like. Like, I trust it. I'm not worried about it getting roughed up or anything. It's been great for that sense. I did a battery life test in the beginning when I first got it, and I do think the battery life has held up till now. You know, sometimes you get electronics and the battery life slowly gets worse and worse. I feel like after 6 months, it's as good as ever. I never worry about it dying. All I do is charge it when I take a shower every day. Not a big deal. It's really awesome. I went on a short, quick weekend trip a few weeks ago. Didn't even bring the charger with me. It was great. Held a charge. Battery life still wonderful. I believe it's about 4 to 5 days from a full charge, which is super awesome. Because again, like, if you're gone for the weekend, you don't even have to worry about a charger. If I wear it on my middle finger, I have been switching it around because I have another smart ring, the Ultra Human ring, and we are going to be doing a comparison test. So I've been wearing both rings lately. There will be a video on this, of course. However, I've been switching around wearing them because I have to wear both rings right now, right? So I've been using my middle finger on my right hand because it fits just fine, just like it fits on my normal finger, but it doesn't fit on every finger, you know, so I had to be a little strategic. I found that if I wear my OURA ring on my middle finger while I'm at the gym, because I do wear my ring while I'm at the gym, I put a ring protector sleeve over it. But if I wear it on my middle finger and I'm like lifting weights, it kind of hurts. There are bumps on the inside of the ring, and those like really dig into my middle finger just because of where it's placed. Like, it doesn't bother my ring finger, it never has. However, my middle finger does. So just a fair warning, you're supposed to wear it on your index finger. It's the most accurate, but if you wear it on your middle finger for some reason and you wear it to the gym, it might hurt you a little bit due to the bumps on the inside. When I wear it normally, I don't feel it on my pointer finger and stuff. Like, the bumps don't bother me, but there are indents on the inside. It's not a very smooth all the way around, FYI. So that hurts. And I've been taking it like on and off at the gym lately. The accuracy, now that I have 6 full months of data, here are my thoughts. Right away, it overpredicts my steps like crazy, and that actually is something I care about, which makes it super annoying, right? Like, I'm someone who I'm worried that I don't move enough throughout the day, so I'm looking at my steps like, okay, I'm really trying to work on decreasing my body fat percentage, and with that, you have to move, right? I go to the gym every day, but because I'm home all day every day, I don't always get a lot of steps, so I am constantly checking that, like, do I need to go for another walk? Do I need to do this, that, whatever, to keep moving my body? And when it overpredicts my steps, it's super annoying because then it's not gonna help me reach my goals, right? I might be thinking like, oh yes, I'm on top of it, I'm on top of it, and then I'm never gonna get anywhere because that matters when you're trying to burn fat like I am. And the reason I know this is because several times I've compared it to my phone steps. Of course, if I'm on the treadmill, my phone doesn't know because it's sitting on the treadmill, so it's not tracking my steps. I've also been comparing it to the Ultra Human ring. Again, there will be a whole different video on that. I also ran a poll and asked other people if they think the OURA ring overpredicts their steps for people that have the OURA ring, and the answers were mostly all yes. So over tracking steps is annoying, and you would think that's like such a basic thing that the OURA ring would be able to do. You know, like every other like fitness tracker tracks steps. It's like the most basic function, which is another reason it's kind of annoying that it over predicts like crazy. So major flaw for me personally, because I do care about that. And of course, all of these pros and cons and things like that are going to matter to some people, but maybe not others, because it does depend on your goals and what you want to get out of a fitness tracker. I do, however, feel like the sleep is super accurate. I wake up a good amount throughout the night. Like usually every night I'll wake up at least once for no crazy reason. Either my dog is in my bed waking me up, or I just woke up, or I wake up to go to the bathroom, whatever. But I always feel like when I wake up and how I feel and what I remember throughout the night with waking up and stuff, OURA ring is always super, super on top of it. I really, really feel like the sleep is accurate with the OURA ring, and I appreciate that a lot too. I'm not always the best sleeper, and it helps me know what I need to work on. So I do feel like the sleep is very accurate, and sleep is so important to your health, your fitness goals, wherever you are. Sleep is important for everyone. And looking at the app, I really do feel like a lot of the metrics like feel accurate, you know? Some of it, you can't just like think and give with your intuition, oh, is it accurate? For example, my HRV. Right now it says 68. I can't just like feel and be in tune with my body and be like, yeah, like my HRV should be 68 right now. No, like that's something I can't personally track. But I like how it adjusts your calorie burn goals and stuff like that to how ready and recovered your body is. And I feel like a lot of the times I feel in line with what the OURA ring is telling me, which is good, obviously. One thing I do really question though is my calorie burn. Not only the active calorie burn, but it also estimates your total calorie burn, which takes into consideration your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, how much you're burning essentially just to keep your body alive, like your metabolic functions and stuff. And I am thinking because it overestimates my steps and activity, I feel like the calories gotta be off too, which again is unfortunate. You know, if it's telling me my total burn right now is like 2,200 and I wanna be in a calorie deficit, for example, I might be thinking, okay, 2,000 calories today would be great, but what if that number really is off and then I end up not being in a calorie deficit? You know, that's not gonna help me burn fat. And I don't live my life according to these numbers exactly every day on the dot, right? I use this as a tool, but I'm not like strict to it, which I think is the best way to go about a fitness tracker and things like that. You know, you don't want to like be so harsh on it because of course it's going to have somewhat of an accuracy error and you gotta live. You gotta live your life, right? But that's the thing, is like if this is overestimating so much and I do have a goal and I want to be eating in a calorie deficit to burn fat, but it's not even the right number and then it throws my eating off because I'm trying to, you know, it messes everything up and then I'm thinking I'm going and making progress towards my goals and then I'm actually not. You know, that's one thing that's annoying about the over calculation. My BMR is different on my OURA ring versus my Ultra Human ring versus I got a body analyzer scale, which should be the most accurate probably because it is 98% accurate compared to a DEXA scan. So how accurate can these rings get? I'm not sure. You know, obviously you know it's not going to be 100% exactly accurate with all of your data, but that's just something to think about. Everything else, all the other stats, because there are a lot of stats, and if you want more details about the app and everything, I have a first review video and a month in where I do a deep dive on the app and everything and go through everything it tells you. I will link those in the description box, of course. This is not the video for that. Go back and watch the first ones. Anyways, more about the app. I love the app so much. I just love the layout. You have the home tab, readiness tab, a whole sleep tab, a whole activity tab, a whole resilience tab. I love the layout of the app. It's super user-friendly. It's neat. It's easy. It makes you want to read into all this stuff. Like the app, whoever created the app, love the app so much. And part of the reason I know I really like it is because, spoiler alert, not a big fan of this app. Again, that video is coming soon. But it's just pleasant, super organized, user-friendly. Like, I don't know, I'm just big fan of the actual app itself. It's really nice how everything is separated out. You know, you have a whole tab about your sleep, but your activity is on a whole different page. If you want your activity, you go to a whole different page. If you want to read about your stress, whole different page. And I love the stress factor and I love the graph. It tells you where you are on high or low stress and high or low like recovery from stress. That is super awesome. One big thing my video is missing, unfortunately, I will tell you, is that I don't use it to track my cycle because the OURA ring pairs with the Natural Cycles app, which is super amazing and incredible. Great form of birth control, honestly, cycle tracking. However, you do have to pay a subscription fee for the OURA ring You also have to pay one for the Natural Cycles app. I know some people can get it covered by their health insurance. I personally haven't looked into it because anything with the word insurance makes me like, I can't deal. It's like a lot of admin and right away I'm like lost. I just feel like I can't do it. I don't know why, but insurance, I'm just like, take it away from me. Someone else do it. Like, I can't figure it out. But so I can't really give you any insight into the cycle tracking. My friend Trinae here on YouTube did make a video about the OURA ring and her experience with Natural Cycles. I will link that video. Definitely go watch that if you want insight about it. She's had it for a long time, longer than I have too, so she has a lot of experience. But I would love to use Natural Cycles and do cycle tracking and everything. It's just like, I have to pay a subscription fee for the OURA ring already, then another one on top of Natural Cycles. I'm like, I just don't want to be racking up all these subscriptions. It is getting annoying, right? Like, I will say it's only $6 a month, but it gets annoying. You know, you don't have to pay a monthly fee for an Apple Watch. The ring is expensive enough, especially if you get a more expensive finish. I got silver because it is the cheapest. Silver and I think black, maybe one other finish is the cheapest. If you want gold, you have to pay almost double the price. It is so expensive. And then on top of that, a subscription or 2 subscriptions, it's like, really? And I know the companies obviously have to make their money, but I just am getting sick of paying the subscription. So that is honestly the reason I haven't synced the Natural Cycles with my OURA ring. Check out Trinae's video if you want to learn about that. One more quick thing about the subscription though, I feel like the reason I'm getting so annoyed about it is because I know there are other devices out there, like I said, the Apple Watch or this ring, that don't have a subscription fee. So I'm like, if there's other ones that don't, like, I'd rather not pay it than do pay it. You know? Although I do feel like the OURA ring, because it was kind of like the original, I feel like OURA has really good branding, and I'm like, OURA is like a hot girl brand. Like, I don't know what vibes it gives me, but I'm just like, oh, she has an OURA ring. Like, she's a wellness girly. She like has her life together. I don't. But that's how like the branding feels. Like, she's super cool. She's in tune with her body. Like, she's a hot girl. OURA definitely has good branding. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I'm basically trying to say that OURA feels like the it girl brand, so it has kind of that type of appeal to it. But yeah, let's get into questions. I got questions about OURA ring versus Apple Watch, Fitbit, other watches. I would honestly recommend watching my first video so you can see all the functions it does. I personally don't use a watch or any other accessory. What I really feel like I like better than those other gadgets and what's more specific to a smart ring is I love that there's no interface because I'm not checking it constantly, and the app adjusts what it thinks you should be doing throughout the day. For example, your calorie burn, when you should go to bed, things like that, depending on how ready your body is, how well you slept the night before, how much your stress impacts you. You know, it really calibrates depending on how it thinks you're feeling, which I don't think watches necessarily do. And I really like that. Also, for me personally, I just don't like wearing big watches, and I love the minimal style of the ring and how it looks good with everything. I mean, some people would argue that the ring is bulky, but I would argue that fitness watches are typically bulkier, you know? So part of it for me really is personal preference on the type of accessory. Is it bulky? Honestly, yes. But again, I've gotten very used to it. I mean, it's not thin, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's not a thin ring, but it could be worse. I feel like that's not helpful, but I think it could be worse, but I've gotten so used to it, it does not, I don't even feel it. Is it worth the money? I really think that depends on your goals. You know, I like it because I've been trying to be really in tune with like recovery, not overdoing it, stuff like that. And I just love having the data. I really do. And I do log and record my workouts, but I don't use it as a workout tracker. Like, I don't look into my workouts and analyze my workouts based off what my ring picks up. Like, I don't use it to focus on my workouts. I use it more so recovery and overall body analytics, if that makes sense. It is a luxury. It is not a necessity. I think it's worth the price if you get the cheapest one like I did. And if there was no subscription fee, I would say it's really worth it. But the subscription fee just kills me. Again, no subscription fee on this one. We'll talk about this one in another video. Maybe this one's more worth it too if you're debating on the price, because it is expensive. You know, it's not a cheap thing. It's a luxury, not a necessity. I love having the data. Is it all scratched up? I will insert another close-up. It's not perfect. Just looking at it, like, it doesn't look gross and like banged up or anything. If you really examine it, you're gonna see imperfections, but I think it looks good. I feel like I'd be obsessed with the numbers if I had one. Do you feel this way? Honestly, no, and I think part of it is because there's no face. You know, like an Apple Watch, you see all the data right here, but for me, I have to go on the app, have it resync, and then look through. I think that does vary person to person, so be careful, because if you are addicted to the numbers, that can get very dangerous, but you know yourself. You have to judge that for yourself. For me, it's been pretty good. I would say a couple years ago, I probably shouldn't have access to this data, but my relationship with my body, my eating, like my exercise, all of that has improved so much throughout the past few years that I'm very comfortable with having this data and not letting it control me, but rather looking at as a tool. If I have fitness goals, for example, I want to lean out, but I like to eat. So I'm not going to go crazy with it. And if I didn't move as much in one day than I should, I'm not going to not eat because of it. So you have to know where you stand with those things and your relationship with all of it. I got a lot of question about how I feel about how it tracks metrics and sleep and stuff, which I kind of already went over. You can comment more questions if you want me to go deeper into these variables, but OURA tracks the steps. I think sleep is pretty accurate. I question the calorie burn, but the stress and stuff seems to be accurate. Again, I don't know what my HRV is. I can't just feel that out. So, is it only for women? No, actually. For example, I think one at least, or maybe several of the Mind Pump guys. Mind Pump is a podcast. There's like 3 guys that talk on it, but I know at least one of them has it. You can track your cycle, but it's not like that's a huge part of the OURA ring. Or I guess it doesn't have to be. It can be if you want it to be that way, but it doesn't have to be. If you don't have a cycle, like you can definitely still use it. Sleep, steps, activity, etc. It is not gender specific. It is not only for women or for women with a cycle. I got a bunch of questions actually, which this is a super great question, but questions about, okay, after wearing it every day for months now, have you actually changed any lifestyle habits because of it? Has it actually made an impact on your life? I will say it's not night and day, right? Like it's not like I was a super lazy person and all of a sudden it like whipped my butt into shape. No. However, I do struggle with sleep sometimes, just going to bed too late, and it's my own fault too. I do think by it tracking my sleep, notifying me like, hey, start getting ready for bed, and just seeing like how much sleep impacts my body, seeing my scores in the red if I like didn't get sleep, or seeing how stressed I am, I think that stuff really helps me try to have a nighttime routine, try to get to bed earlier, try to recover, and also it just gives me grace that sometimes I need to slow it down and just like take a minute. I think it's so easy for us to be hard on ourselves and just think we have to do more and more and more, and I feel like it really gives me peace of mind, and it's like mentally relieving. It hasn't changed anything about my workouts. It has helped me want to move more and get 10,000 steps, but again, like I said, I think it overpredicts my steps, so it's not being very helpful there, but I really love the recovery side of it, and I really wanted to love it for the steps because I am focused on moving my body and having those goals of moving not just in the gym with weights. So I do think it's helped me in those areas specifically, and I love to look at my stress. And also, if I'm like not getting my period or something, or if it's coming late or whatever, I can look back at this data and be like, okay, is my body stressed? Is there something going on? Like what's causing this to come late? Because I'm very sensitive to that. I do notice if something's off, like my period will 100% be late, like at least a couple days. It always happens. And I guess it's a good sign, your body is constantly giving you cues, telling you to do things and fix things, whatever. So I really like it in that sense. But again, it's not night and day. I will always stand by it's a luxury, not a necessity. If you have an extra $300, which it sounds silly because it's like, in this economy with these grocery prices, who just has an extra $300, right? But if you're super into health and fitness and wellness and stuff, and you have money that you've been saving up, or you're treating yourself for your birthday or whatever, I do think it's worth it. But again, it always depends on your goals, your financial state, things like that. It's a luxury, not a necessity. It's helped me. It's definitely helped me, but it's not a night and day difference. I very much feel middle grounded on this. I'm not going to tell you 100% yes, you need it, but I don't think it's useless or worthless by any means. I check it every day and I love looking at it. And I think it's cute, and I love that I can wear it out with other jewelry and it doesn't look clunky and stupid. I mean, yes, it is a little bulky, but I think it looks fine. Do you ever get numbness or tingly on the finger you're wearing it? No, actually, I've never even thought about that. No. Any features I wish it had? I would say the OURA Ring's not missing any information unless you know of another device that has more information. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at the analytics and I'm like, oh, I wish it had this. Features I maybe wish it had physically though, I would like it if it was a little bit thinner. And like I mentioned before, there are bumps on the inside. It would be nice if those were more flat. Otherwise, it's fine physically. This is also a great question. Is there a possibility of getting the size changed if you were to need to go up or down a size? Say you lose weight or something and your fingers shrink? I actually don't think that's an option. As far as my knowledge, no. I will do some deep digging. OURA has a pretty basic 30-day return policy. They don't have any trade-in or buyback options if you need a different size down the line. Just a regular return policy. I'm always posting question boxes either on my Instagram story or my community page on YouTube. So please follow me on Instagram if you want to participate in any videos like this. Q&As, like in this video, personal Q&As, whatever. Follow my Instagram, check out my community page. It should show up in your subscriptions feed anyway, but I got a lot of the same repeat questions, which are really awesome questions. I think I covered everything. If you have more, please leave them in the comments below. Again, comparison video coming soon, but that has been my experience with 6 months plus of the OURA ring. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not. Turn on your notifications so you get the comparison video notification when it is live, and I'll see you in my next one.